moment I can get all this set up. Quick start. Cool. Let's see. All right, cool. I think I got everything set up here, so we're gonna get this popping. Let me just. Yeah. Just make sure my audio is good. Give me 1 second. Let's do audio options. We're gonna do any volume here. We're gonna do audio up here. Yeah, that should be good. 40. Cool. All right, so now since I got all of that set up, let's turn this low and game volume. All right, cool. What's up, everybody? It's z00kou or z00kou. I'm gonna be making a video today going over some I don't want to call it advanced tech, but because it's kind of like beginner already, but I see so many people not using it, and there's layers to using this tech properly. So we're gonna go ahead and just show exactly all of that tech. This video is gonna immediately help you and make you a better player. And yeah, so who best to use if not, Finn, a character that's already pretty fast, and he's kind of a really good showcase of this tech anyway. Let me just take all of this stuff off of him. I don't want any variables, and let's just use, I don't know, we'll use Taz for example. Actually, you know what, we'll actually use another Finn. So first thing I want to go over is like some basics of like how this game works. So number one, you can do like forward and back, right, or forward and back, however you want to do it. And if you press them really fast together, you can kind of spam the two, right? And that allows for you to kind of get this little kind of like this little semi movement. It's like this really quick just jump movement. You can kind of use this to micro space, right? You can then go crazy, right? So depending on how fast you can do that, that'll make a good bit of difference in, like, if you wanted to like bait somebody out and then jump in or something like that, you can get a lot to happen out of this one move. So that's actually pretty good. It's something that you kind of want to get in the habit of, and the reason why I say this is important is because if you do a jump, notice how you get that same little dash, right? But if you try to switch directions or something, or let's say if you do a move and you start moving, you see how there's no dash, right? See how it just moves? But if you go the other way, you see how there's a dash? See what I'm saying? So that's a wave dash. That's technically like as close as you can get to a wave dash, right? So if you do a move, you have to go back if you want to like do micro spacing really quick, right? Because if you just do it, you would have to do your jump in order to get that speed. So just know if you do a move and you move forward, you don't get that speed boost. It's actually pretty slow. But if you do the move and you go back, you can go really quickly in that direction. So you can use that to space, right? So yeah, that's actually pretty important because that allows for you to get a little bit of micro spacing. Let's say if you're trying to space a button, or if you're trying to purposely like max space it for a combo, right? Let's say you have to hit at the very edge of this attack, right? And you're not there, you can just, or let's say you're here and you're like, nah, forget that. If you're trying to max space it, right? So yeah, this allows for you to kind of micro space as much as you want, so you can get a move to hit exactly where you want it to hit at, right? And that's really important because that allows for you to kind of play this mini footsie game that I don't see really pretty much anyone actually using. Only like the very top of the top are actually using this sort of micro spacing here. And this is really important if you're trying to make sure you can throw a button and then after that be safe, right? Like for example, certain moves have like stun, right, or like lock, like recovery, right. And the only way to get out of that lock is to dodge or to jump, right. But yeah, certain characters have like this ability to do stuff like this as well. So you can actually like throw a move out and then like sort of micro space it that way, right? This is why I like Finn, because Finn can kind of run with his moves. Now the problem is you don't get the see what I'm saying? Finn's like a really unique character because he can kind of do that and then switch his move like immediately while he's doing that. And all that I'm doing is I'm basically just using my dodge to kind of animation cancel. So these are like really like minor mechanics in the game that like pretty much everyone should do because it's like kind of already built into the game, and it's pretty simple as well. So let's start talking about like certain things that you can do. So for example, I'm about to show people something that's like pretty like not well known, but nevertheless almost every character in the game has a move that they can do this with. Now it doesn't work with every move for every character. Certain animations have enough amount of like lock stun, like once you do the attack you can't get out of it, but this actually will help you get like 50/50s or some sort of option select. For example, I'll just show you a quick example. You can do something like this, right, and see how that combos, right? And you can also like change like how much of this you actually like use. Like you see what I'm saying, like you can change if you want a quicker dodge, right? Oh, that was in there. See, that's a quicker one. You can do a slower one, right? And then you can do a really slow one, right? But then it doesn't combo anymore. So you can like actually like adjust just how much of the frames that you're getting by doing this, which is actually really important because that allows for you to kind of adjust just how much of this you want to use. And what this kind of allows for you to do is it allows for you to do an attack that's going to combo anyway, right? And once you do that attack, you're pretty much safe after you throw it out because you're immediately dodging out of the recovery into another attack that's going to combo. Remember, this combos. Anyway, you see how it's a combo? It's a hit stun combo, which means you can do this all the time. And it's kind of like option selecting, right? You don't really have to respect anything that they're throwing out because you can just do that and you're safe, right? You can literally just do this over and over and over again until you run out. And the reason why this is really good is because of the fact that every time you hit someone, you get stamina back. So you can legit do this forever. See what I'm saying? And I never lose stamina, really, right? And then on top of you getting a hit in, you also get the normal regeneration. So this is like really safe to do. You're just kind of like sticking a button out there and you're not really like paying any cost for it, right? So that's really important. This allows for you to kind of play a different sort of game, and as you kind of get better with doing this and you're better at like timing, like whenever you want the gaps, right, or where you want a button to be, you can do something like this to micro space, right? Something like that. That'll allow for you to basically get a little bit of better neutral than the opponent who doesn't do this. So whoever does this properly, you can kind of do stuff like that where it's gonna combo anyway, right? See, that combos anyway, and if they move, then they still get hit. So it's like if you whiff this first hit, right, then there's a chance that you get punished for it, right? Or you have to dodge, right? Now, a lot of people, they're just dodging, and then they don't really do anything. They're not actually, like, dodging into another move, right? For example, you could do, like, dodge into that, right? Like, you can dodge into pretty much whatever you want. Like, you can do even like that if you want. If you know they're gonna, like, jump, you can, like, do this. And then, you can do, like, something like that, right? Or you can, like, do this into that. You can do it into whatever you want, right? Once you dodge, you can do whatever you want. Now the reason why that's important is because there's a mechanic in the game that allows for you to kind of abuse a certain particular type of movement that makes your character way better. And this is like how you become harder to hit, but at the same time how you apply so much pressure, because if you didn't know, you apply pressure in this game by having better movement than the other player. If you can move better than the other player, I don't care if they are using a character that's better than your character. This game is well balanced in my opinion because of the fact that every character on this list is viable. If you have better neutral, better movement than them, there's literally nothing that they can do to kind of stop that. So let's just talk about some more of the things that you can do. So for example, whenever you start a game, right? We already talked about the back and forth. We talked about like you put a button out there and then you dodge out. You control just how much you dodge out, right? Control the iframe on that so you can use your dash and microspace. Well, here's another cool thing. Let me just put him to doing. Let's do special attack and then up. All right. So if you do a dodge attack, right, your next attack actually has a little bit of iframe on it, right? Now it's not a lot, but before the patch that nerfed Taz, it used to be like if you just do this like anytime, this attack would have like some iframe after you do a dash attack, right? But it's not like that anymore. You actually have to dodge an attack in order to get it to happen, right? See what I'm saying? I don't get any of that now. So you actually have to dodge an attack in order to get that extra little frame, right? So that's really important because, again, that kind of builds already on the fact of, you know, if you're abusing that 50-50 tech, that option select tech where you're doing this, right? And you actually dodge an attack while you're doing that, then not only does the dodge help you get out of a hit, but also the next attack has a little bit more injury frames at the very beginning of the attack, which means that you can basically like kind of cheese people in the neutral just for you abusing the fact that you dodge an attack. Now if you don't dodge an attack, then you're gonna get hit, but if you do dodge an attack, then that's actually really cool. So being able to do this into another hit, and if let's say you throw it out preemptively, right, knowing that it's going to whiff, you can dodge and then purposely punish them for trying to whiff punish you. That's a little bit of an Abare kind of idea, right? Where you purposely put yourself in a frame advantage of whiffing on purpose. Because this game, like the thing I like about this game is it plays a little bit different than MK11. In MK11, if you got caught whiffing, you got punished. This game, you can purposely whiff to try to get people to punish you, and then you like do a backdash and then you punish them with the max space one that can lead into a combo that hits only if you max space or whatever it may be, and that can make this game extremely good in the neutral, which can make this game just so delicious to play at sometimes. So that's one cool thing that you gotta kind of get in your arsenal. But now let's talk about another thing, right? So outside of just dashing into an attack to give yourself a little bit more frames, you can just actually dash and then dash and then dash again. And this actually allows for you to move quicker. Now, in order for you to move quicker doing this, you have to actually know for every character like their exact frame that they reset the neutral. So you can actually use this to kind of get away for free. See what I'm saying? Like every character has their own like timing that you have to like get down. Now in every single one of these there's a specific gap where they actually can't like you see what I'm saying? Like every character, like there's a gap, right, where you have to hit them or where they can be hit no matter how much they spam this. Now the higher their stamina, the harder that it is to hit them in that gap, but this is not like foolproof, right? This is actually like a way to there's a way to counter this. You can't just do this all day and then think you're gonna like not get hit, right? Number one, the more you dodge, you see how that white timing gets almost non-existent? It literally lessens over and over again, right? See how big of the white flash it is? See how they get smaller and smaller? It's actually telling you how long your frames are. So as long as you see that white, see how it gets smaller and smaller? It's basically telling you how much of a envy frame do you have. So whenever it's big, you have all of that, right? And the more you use it, the more you lose it. So, but again, it's not really like that important in my opinion, because of the fact that if you hit someone, you get it back. And if you get hit, you get it back. And on top of that, the natural regeneration. So you actually want to kind of like use this a lot whenever you're just trying to like option select someone's like defense, right? You can use that. Another thing that you can do to kind of help with this is you can do your dodge, right? Now this is one of those things where you can do it like this, right, to make it like once you master like the timing for the reset. But there's actually an easier way to do this, which is like do it and then dodge. I mean crouch. And this allows for you to kind of do that, right? And you can legit just kind of spam your right. So let's say there's like a multi-hitting attack, or for example, let's say the backpack, right? You can actually just sit there and do that to Now I actually haven't practiced this, so I might get exposed a little bit here. See what I'm saying? You can actually do that if you know an attack is coming, or if you're just trying to like free 50-50 a move. Let's say you don't know it's about to hit, so you can be like, see what I'm saying? And then like go in between that, right? So it's kind of a noob friendly move in my opinion, but it's not something that you can spam, because if you spam it, then you lose your ability to punish something for whiffing, right? You can't do that, because you can't like just do that and then like punish, right? You have to actually have timing for this, and then you get to like punish whenever you do it right at the very end of their last hit of active frames. So it's not something that you can just spam, because the moment that their attack finish, remember, they can like do an attack and then immediately dodge out, right? Now every attack has this sort of like initial like stun. Now every attack in the game has their own frame data. So like for example, this attack, you can pretty much do it almost a lot quicker than you would if you were to do this attack, right? This attack, you throw it out, you're kind of stuck for a little while, right? So every attack has their own sort of like frame data where it determines just how much time you have to recover, and that time that you have to recover completely determines if a character is going to be good or not whenever we're talking about like the later end of this game's like meta. Once people really learn and really master these mechanics, they're going to pay a lot more attention to when you can dodge out of an attack, right? Like for example, this move right here, even though this is like one of her best moves, right? The reason why it's so popular is because you can do this right after that, right? That leads into a combo, which is good because it's another frame, but you can also do this, right? Or you can just do this into another one, right? And I'll talk about like how you can like mix stuff like that up to kind of make this game a little bit faster flowing for you. But you really have to pay attention to like when you can dodge after an attack, because if you can't, then people actually can sit in the air and like purposely let you do a move and dodge out, right? And then punish you for throwing out a move. This is going to be the meta of this game, by the way. If you're just throwing out attacks and you're not really like purposely placing those attacks or using them in a specific way, you're going to get punished, you're going to get slapped, you're going to get smacked, and that's going to make it to where you can kind of keep your health low, and at the same time you're always punishing someone else for doing something else. So that's going to be a really good piece of the meta. So yeah, you can do that. That's cool, because that allows for you to kind of option select a lot of cheesy things in this game. For example, if you're going against an Iron Giant and he's doing his little aerial, like where he smashes down to the ground and he does that, right? You can literally just and then punish if you don't know the timing for that. So that's immediate, like an immediate way to just kind of, okay, I don't have to worry about that anymore. And you can also do that with Harley Quinn's sequence of attacks, or her pressure whenever she's doing her aerial forward 2, which is actually a really good move that people are not abusing. For example, let me just show that really quick. You can, oh, wrong character. You can actually like go in the air and do this and immediately do that right after. So you can actually use this to combo off of it like that, right? So people are not using this enough. And it's actually a really good move, because it's a free like, hey, hold this and then hold these next attack, because she has like no recovery from it whatsoever. And like I said, this is the meta of this game. If your attack has no recovery, it's a really good freaking button, right? And that's just guaranteed damage. Now she can actually get like so much from this. What's really important is that she can do it and then cancel over this way. So even if she whiffs, she can like, instead of doing it like this, she can like dodge and purposely like do it to hit you, right? Like that. And then while you're in the air, if you do the move, you can like get further away. So it's literally just a free button. You don't ever have to like worry about it. Like you can just throw it out whenever. That's her, actually, in my opinion, that's her best move. And this is the reason why I feel like a lot of people have kind of ran away from Harley Quinn, because she's not as easily played whenever you're going against characters who have like more buttons, you know what I mean? But there's tech that you can do that just kind of makes her better. So like that's a little thing about Harley Quinn that people are not abusing, that actually makes her really good and really powerful, because you can actually like sit there and you always throw it in the direction that you want to go. So you can throw it and then do like that, right? Now it only works if you're in the air. See, that combo's like from this far away, that combos, right? So this is actually like your greatest neutral button, right? But it only works if you're in the air, because if you do it on the ground, you don't get that that dash as quickly as you wanted to, the recovery is a little bit more. But if you're in the air, your dash is immediate, which means there's no recovery on that attack. But if you're on the ground, you can still do it, but it's just not as fast, right? So this is your aerial move, and this is the reason why I say like being able to do certain things in this game is going to help you out, and we'll go over that in a bit. But let's get back to what we were originally talking about. The reason why that's important is because of the fact that while you can do this and that, right, you can also do like a neutral dodge and then dodge forward, right, to get you really too good and quick and fast envy frames, right? And this is really important because that allows for you to kind of move out of the rest of a hit. So you can literally do that to kind of option select Taz's Tornado, and you could purposely time it early and it won't matter, right? You can time it early and then dash, right? Basically where it doesn't hit you. And that pretty much counters backpack. That counters like, let me not just say it, I'll actually show you guys so that way you guys don't think I'm capping here, right? Oh, did it too early. It's not even giving me the dodge. Timing it too early. Alright. Like that. You could do something like that, right? Where basically you can kind of like option select it like that. Like that, right? So that makes it to where you can basically kind of like freely like option select a move. So whether they do that move or they don't do that move, they can like basically never hit you for it. Now what's cool about it is, remember how I said like whenever you do a dodge attack, right, in a direction, the next attack like actually has a little bit of iframes on it. So let's say they knew you were going to do this, right? And so they're like, okay, I'm gonna purposely throw out a move and then I'm gonna cancel it mid move and then I'm gonna try to punish you like that, right, for trying to get away or trying to do this attack, right? Well, remember how I said like if you dodge and you do this, your next attack, if you actually dodge an attack, it actually gives you a little bit of extra iframes. What'll happen is you're actually like do the neutral and they'll be prepared for the other one, and you can do this immediately into that, or do this immediately into that, or this immediately into that, or this immediately into that, right? And that'll actually like stop them from being able to punish it. So it's just free option selecting at this point. That's just like a kind of game of chess. Like, is he going to do it, or is he just going to actually like neutral dodge and actually go for the attack, right? That's what's going to end up happening. Are you going to actually use this move? Because you can always do this, right? Right, and then do it again, right? So you can literally do that as much as you want. Now it's going to cost you a lot of stamina but there's literally no counter to this, right, except the little bit of like gap that's in between it. So it's something that's definitely worth getting used to. But now let's talk about like how this like applies to like gameplay, because dashing in this game, right, especially if you move and you dash, right? See what I'm saying? Remember how I said like if you like see anytime you see that little step, that means you're getting a speed boost in that direction, right? So if you move in and stop, then you just move faster in that direction immediately. Whenever you pair that little step where you get the smoke behind you with the dash, that's a wave dash in this game, right? That's the best thing you're going to get to a wave dash. Now a lot of people, they like to do this or they like to do that, right? I don't like to do that because you can't fast fall enough. Even though this is good in its own right, and we'll talk about that in a second, that's not a wave dash, right? Because you can actually get that same distance quicker if you just ran, right? See what I'm saying? Instead of doing all of this where you have a predictable trajectory and you don't really go anywhere, right? And you can just move that. So movement is always like doing this is always going to be faster than doing like that, right? But you have to know your cancels. And the reason why I would rather do this one more is because you get the possibility of an iframe after that. But you can always do this and then do that as well. So there's still like ways to play around it, but just know the fastest way to move around in this game is to do this, obviously, and then it would be to do that. But it always has to be paired with one of these, because if you, let's say I did an attack and I do like that, you don't go as far. You need that little step, that little smoke that allows for you to move quicker in that direction. It gives you a little bit of a speed boost in movement at the initial acceleration. And that's really important whenever you start to look at like movement in this game. Now, whenever you pair that with the most basic mechanic in this game, however, it's like the foundation of being able to uh, move properly. If you don't use this, if you don't abuse this, it's gonna be really hard for you to kind of be good in this game. Um, and it's a simple mechanic, and it's not only just an offensive tool; it's a defensive tool. It's a zone control tool. It's in everything. This is the foundation of this game. If you do not abuse this, if you do not use this, then you're gonna put yourself in a situation where you're gonna get hit a lot, much more. But this is also something that helps you out on the bottom when you're in disadvantage, right? And it also helps you out on the top when you're in advantage and you're trying to actually like punish somebody or use this as a prediction. So you use your first button as a prediction and then you punish somebody for like trying to get out of that prediction, right? So you can literally like, nope, you can't get away, right? And that's really, really important. So I'll talk about this in a little bit, but it all stems from this simple mechanic that is in the game. So we'll go over it in depth here. So if you listen to the tutorial or if you did the tutorial, it talks about how if you dash in a direction and you jump after, it gives you a momentum boost or a speed boost in that direction, right? This is the fastest way to move in the game, right? There's nothing else in the game that's going to allow for you to move faster than this with your character. That's the fastest way to move in the game, right? Now, you can obviously do that, but it's going to cost you more, and this just is really, really, really well made and well designed that it's super easy to do. All you're doing is you're dashing forward and then you're jumping, right? Now, you can if you're in the air, we'll talk about that in a second, but that's all that it is. You dash in a direction, or whether forward or back. You can even do like kind of downward, right? And if you do it in a diagonal down, you'll immediately fast fall, right? So a lot of people are confused with like how fast fall works, and this is what makes a lot of people's neutral really sucky. Basically, if you want to like this, for example, I'll do one. Look at how far I went, right? I pretty much went to the edge of the map. Now, if I just do diagonal upward, it doesn't actually change anything, right? So I'm doing diagonally upward every one of these. Now I'll do the same thing for horizontal, just horizontal, right? It doesn't really change anything, right? Whether you go horizontal or you don't. Now if you go diagonally upward, it doesn't really change anything. But however, with diagonally down, this allows for you to fast fall, right? So right? That's what that allows for you to do. Now, let's actually talk about a really quick setting that could help you guys out with this. If you wanted to know my buttons, here they are. I play with D-pad. I come from and input buffer frames. I've messed around with it a bit. If you go too low, things will get a lot harder to hit. And due to like how this game latency works, I don't know. I've messed around with like 9, I've messed around with 6, I've messed around with 17, I've messed around with 23, I've messed around with 25, and I don't know. I really don't know how to feel about this game's input buffer max frames. In my opinion, go as low as you possibly can, and then stick with it. The only problem is the moment that you hop on 9, it'll automatically feel so much more different because of the way the latency works. So I would build this number off of your online, and it's always going to be default on recommended, but you can just go like this and like go down to wherever you want. And what it basically means is like frames per second, right? So if you have a I don't know, like a really strong monitor or whatever, it's going to allow for you to buffer your next attack for as long as the frames that you have listed here. I just leave mine on recommended because I haven't really been able to find that sweet spot yet. I'm still practicing with it, but yeah. Also, by the way, this is really important. We'll talk about this in a second. Your right stick, you can actually make this attacks or special, and this is really important if you're using the controller, and we'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, so this is the reason why you really want to pay attention to your buffer frames and get that setting situated first is because if you're playing like I'll just give an example here. if you're playing the game on an input buffer that is really, really low, like a lot of people, they might have listened to like what some other players said, and they're not actually testing this out themselves. If you put this on a number that's really low, so let's say 4, right? If I wanted to do this, right? So I'm trying to do forward 1 and then neutral 1, right? I actually have to time this better in order to get it to come out. So I'll just press it once, right? So I just did forward 1, neutral 1, and notice how the neutral 1 doesn't come out. It's because I have to actually hit that button within a certain amount of frames where it buffers, right? So if technically speaking, the higher that you put this number, the easier it's going to be to hit things that like at the first frame, if that makes sense, right? And the lower this number goes, the better you have to time everything. But if you master that timing, everything's going to feel more responsive, right? You won't get as much delays or unwanted inputs, right? So this is really important because this allows for you to determine just how nice this game feels for you, right? You see what I'm saying? Like, the lower you can go and still keep your consistency, the easier it becomes to do stuff like that, right? This game just starts to feel really, really consistent, right? And then you just feel faster. So yeah, just mess around with that setting. I don't know exactly what the recommended setting is, like the number. If I had to give it a number, I don't know that number, but I feel like it's 9 is like a good spot for me. However, I just keep it on recommended just because I don't really know what recommended is, and I feel like it's a safe option right now whenever you compare it to online play. So yeah, mess around with that setting first and try to do like a, I don't know, any character's combo or something, and see if it's easier for you to like do those moves without actually having to think about it, like something like that, right? So forward 1, down 1, forward 1, up 1, right? And if that's easy to do at the input frame that you're doing, then stick with it, and then try it in a custom game, because custom game is technically online. So yeah, that's another thing. But once you get your input buffer setting where you want it at, you want to master doing this to where this basically becomes a natural mechanic for you, and it has to be really quick, not like slow like that, right? Because then you don't get it, right? It's not slow, because if you do it slow, then it won't happen. You gotta press them like basically like a 1-2 combo, like you know how I box like 1-2s, right? You have to do like 1-2, and then you'll immediately just get sent flying in that direction from neutral. Now the reason why this is important is because you go from being at a standstill to immediately across the map, just like that. And this is one move, right? Technically, just a dodge and a jump at the same time. So that's a really powerful move. You have to abuse this. This is the foundation for advanced movement in this game. Without this, you cannot play this game properly at the highest level. Now, another thing that's really important is, again, like I said, if you hold down, right, or directional down, you'll fast fall in the direction that you're going. If you do it in the direction like left, right? So if I fast fall that way, right, it'll go directionally down. So watch out.
Need to remember that move for the future.
Right? You go directionally down in that direction, right? But if you do the same thing in the other direction, you go directionally down in that direction.
You thought you had.
See what I'm saying? And that's really important because it allows for you to, again, have micro spacing to where instead of you just going straight down, right, you can go directionally down and then straight down. So you can go like directionally down, then straight down. That's really important. And you can also like mix it up by doing like this and like that, right? So you can kind of change your facing while you're in midair doing fast falling, right? And that's really important because that allows for you to do stuff like this. It allows for you to do stuff like this. It allows for you to do stuff like this, and then also stuff like that. And we'll talk about that in a second. So this is really important because whenever you do this move here, if you go directionally down in the direction that you're headed, it'll bring you to the ground faster, which means you can like actually like use this to do something like that, right? Just a quick movement, right? You can also do it in the other direction here, and it'll immediately stop you, right? And put you at a kind of a standstill. So it's like use this to get out, right? And then you can use it to like get right here, right? I'll actually do this without like any movement after I do it, right? So it'll put you somewhere around there, and if you do it in the other direction, it'll put you like around here, right? Now, why is this important? And the reason I say you would actually want to get in the lab and master doing directionally down the other way, and then just letting it fly. And the reason why I say you want to master each and every one of these is because of the fact that Each one of them puts you in a different spot on the map after you do the initial move. And this is important because if you're trying to use this in a defensive way or in an offensive way, you need to have control over this move. Now, each and every one of these gives you kind of a different follow-up after that, right? So let's say you do this one and then you do another one, right? That allows for you to I did directionally down towards where I jumped. I mean, away from where I jumped. And then I did another dash from here into the player. This can be used to kind of bait whenever somebody thinks you're just gonna go in like that, right? You can kind of like do this and then like do like that, right? And that allows for you to kind of bait them and to like not really know, because this movement is really fast, by the way. Like you can get from point A to point B in like basically a second, which is really fast. Fast movement in this game. Like no game really has closeout like how this game does. For example, your teammate, you could be in the air comboing like somebody up and your team's like, hey, I got in the combo. You're like, all right, I got you, bet, right? You literally be like, I got you, and then you're there, right? It's that simple. And you could just be over there instantly, right? Or you can use two of them and then go crazy. So yeah, this is really good. This is really important movement that you kind of have to have mastered, because this allows for you to whiff punish. This allows for you to, again, have better neutral, better footsies, better spacing. And if your footsies or your neutral or your movement is better than your opponent, and you know how to place yourself where you want to be in the map, this allows for your zone control and all your like ability to punish people or predict where they're gonna be at. If you know, for example, if you do a move here, your opponent's gonna like do this dodge and then like try to get over here as quickly as possible. You can legit do this preemptively and then like chase for that position where you know they're going to be at. That's the meta of this game, and I literally have only faced maybe 3 people in this game that actually tried to punish at where they knew I was going to be. And this is the reason why I beat a lot of people in ones, is because I'm guessing where they're going to be. I'm having an educated guess, because in all honesty, there's no such thing as reading people. It's an educated guess. Obviously you can pick up on patterns, right? But there's no such thing as like this person is going to be here. That's why it's called a read. You're guessing. You can guess at where somebody's going to be at, and then you can try to punish at that guess. And if you get it right, then you do really well. However, there are certain things in a game called 50-50s or option selects, where you're no longer guessing. You're actually beating 2 options if they decided they were going to jump here or if they were going to jump here, right? There's actually tech in this game where you can actually kind of, depending on a character's hitbox, you can actually beat 2 of those options with 1 move, and that's called option selecting. It's whenever you take 2 options and you select both of them with 1 move. So yeah, that's really important in this game, because option selecting allows for you to play better. And like we said, this right here, that's already an option select. Whenever you can do this, and it's naturally going to combo anyway, right? And you get that little dodge frame in between. So anytime you can do this, and like you're pretty much safe while you're doing it, then you want to spam option selects as much as possible. So back to the whole this, right? So again, there's the forward diagonal down, right? That'll bring you here, right? So a little bit out of their reach, right? Now if you do it just the regular way, you're going to be in their reach, right? If you do directional down, you're going to be out of their reach. So this is important because this allows for you to max space. You can even just go straight down, right? Like that, right? And it'll still bring you somewhat forward for the initial jump, but it'll bring you down pretty much at this spot. Now if you do directionally down this way, it'll put you here. So now you have a button that gives you immediate movement, right, to bring you here, 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 or here, right? And that's all important, because this determines exactly where you want to be off of this really good movement. Because again, this movement can bring you way over here if you wanted to, right? And that's really important, because that means you're basically untouchable. So this allows for you to, once you have this mastered, completely master your spacing, and that gives you so many options. Now let's talk about, that's it used in a footsie format. Let's talk about this in an offensive format, because in an offensive format, it really starts to open up a character. So for example, Wonder Woman has God tier movement. In my opinion, she has the best movement in the game. A lot of people will argue that Finn does. I don't think Finn has the best movement in the game. A lot of people are actually sleeping on my baby here, Ryan Dog, who actually, in my opinion, has the best movement in the game whenever you know how to use his stuff properly. But let's take Wonder Woman for example. You can throw this button out and it'll be here. So you can immediately input it in, right? And you can just immediately take this, right? and it'll end up right around there, right? Now you can delay this attack so it can hit over here. You can input it in early and it can hit right here. Depending on where you hit this button, it'll determine where it ends. So you gotta know exactly how long you need to hold this. You gotta know exactly when you need to input the button. For example, that's me doing the exact same move, but notice how I don't even go anywhere. I just do this and I'm in the exact same spot, right? So you need to be able to control exactly how far out you go and exactly how much airtime you give yourself, right? So you immediately can fast fall, right? See, I did basically this. I dashed in the direction, I did the directional down towards the left, and then I immediately, while I did that, I inputted in my forward 1, and it literally made me go from here to here in a second, right? I literally didn't go anywhere, but I just abused some sort of like micro spacing, and this is really, really important. This is really important because you need to be able to do that, right? You need to be able to determine if you want to be in the air or if you want to touch the ground, because there's tech in this game where if you touch the ground, right, you'll do this neutral attack, right? Let's say you wanted the neutral attack. Let's say you actually wanted to use this and then you wanted to use another one of these, right? Well, you have to touch the ground really quickly to do that, right? So you gotta like, and then do another one really, really quickly in order to get that move to hit. Now remember how I said anytime you touch the ground you can neutral jump, right? So you dash and then jump in a direction. Well, you can technically do this like that, right? Really, really quickly, right? And that's really important because now you can do stuff like this, right? So if you have really good neutral buttons, you can literally just like do this and then like go crazy. So that's really, really important because this allows for you, let's say if you got a hit, right, and you wanted to follow it up with a jump one or something like that, right? So you can do this, another one, another one, another one, and you can just see what I'm saying? That allows for you to basically always get to a spot before they even get there, right? Because again, if you do neutral jump, it sends you flying in that direction, and that's really, really important, right? So now check this out. You can do something like this, right? Oh, messed it up. Right? So let's say you knew that after you hit that move, they were going to be behind you, right? I just did a jump again, right? Now normally it'll send you way over here, but because I knew that he was going to do a small jump, I was able to use that exact same neutral aerial move without being sent way over here, right? So that's really, really important because this allows for all of your aerial moves to be used as neutral moves, which makes your character really, 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 really shine if it's not a character that has like good, like neutral. For example, LeBron's neutral, like on the ground, is not really all that, right? But if you can master his aerial moves, he actually becomes a little bit more of a scarier character. Now, here's something that you have to master in this game as well. This is a, like basically a neutral aerial forward one, right? So I'm doing it from neutral, but it's my forward one in the air, right? So if I jump in the air and I did forward one, that's what that input is, but I'm doing it on the ground, right? And let's say if your aerial is a really, really good move, and it's like your best button, or let's say this move is like your best like move from neutral with Wonder Woman, right? And you wanted to pair that up, right? You could do something like that, right? So you do this, hold on, that, and then you immediately go into that, right? Well, let's say you wanted to do your aerial that, because that's a really, really good move, right? It's a double hitting armor breaker move. It's really just free combo that leads into combo damage, right? So that's another really good move that you might just want to do from neutral, right? This allows for you to do that, and basically what you do is you input the two buttons at the exact same time. Now again, depending on your input buffer setting, it's going to change like that timing, right? So I just put them in at the exact same time, but I make it to where I input in my jump a little bit before, because if you put them in at the exact same time, sometimes you'll get that to happen, right? And if you put it in where your button hits before, see what I'm saying? Like you can actually hit this and then jump out of it, right? So you got to be careful with certain attacks. So I always do jump a little bit before. I do apologize, but I always do the jump a little bit before, but immediately right after I touch jump, it's like it's literally at the exact same time. It's like a zone in For Honor if you ever played that game, and you put them in at the exact same time, but you put in your attack a little bit after, and it allows for you to kind of cancel, right? So yeah, once you get that mastered, you'll be able to just simply do this from neutral, and then it's no longer a problem, right? And like literally, like I'm doing this, but I never really left the ground. You understand? See what I'm saying? And since I'm doing the directional down, I'm immediately touching the ground, so I'm literally just floating across the ground at that point, right? See how I'm just floating? And while I'm doing that, I can actually input in another aerial move if I would like to in that little gap right here where you do that, right? You can input in another aerial move, right? Like this, right? Or you can simply go into another aerial jump at that point, right? So yeah, that's really, really important. Because if you can do another aerial jump right there, like that, then you can chain up stuff that normally wouldn't chain up. So that's really important, and you have to have this like in the bag, mastered with every character that you want to main, or it's not going to be good for you. This allows for you to do this, right, or this, and have so many neutral options that you normally wouldn't have. For example, let's choose a character who, in my opinion, has a really good neutral buttons, right? That's a really good button. This is also a really good button, right? But this is a really good button. It has a lot of active frames, and you can move while you do it, right? And it's just free active frames for this, right? See what I'm saying? That's a really good button. But also his neutral one is pretty cool because you can do like that and then immediately follow it up into another one. So this allows for certain characters to play better. And for example, Finn is another one. You know, his aerial buttons are really good. A double hitting move, right? That can lead into a combo, right? Like that. Or you can do his down one, right? That leads into another thing. Or you can do his aerial, right? If you're wanting to use that instead of this, right? You can use this and then that, whatever. There's so many options. Now, for example, I'll show another character who's a little bit more of a, right? Sometimes you don't want that move because it's too slow. But if you wanted to punch somebody in the air, right? Let's say he's jumping and oh, wrong one. Let's say he's jumping and you're trying to punish that, right? And you're like, but I don't want to do this move, right? You just simply do the button at the exact same time and you'll be able to punish that. Or if you wanted to do that one, a neutral aerial one, right? Or if you wanted to do that from grab, that from neutral, that's possible, right? That'll catch a lot of people by surprise. If you do this, right, instead of doing that, you can do this into that, and that'll catch so many people by surprise. So just get used to being able to do your specials or your aerial attacks on the ground. This makes a huge difference in how you're able to play a character and how a kit's able to be worked. For example, a lot of people don't really abuse this. That move right there, that's actually like one of her best moves in my opinion. Because it's a really solid move in my opinion. A really solid move. And this is also a really good move. The reaction is slow, but you can kind of dodge out of it into like further pressure, right? Not as fast as you can with Harley's, but there's so much you can do with the move, right? You can do like, hold on, I'm tripping. Something like that, right? So you can like literally use this to send you in the air. You can use this to kind of get two aerials really quickly, right? Something like that, right? So now you got pressure here and then pressure here in like 0.5 of a second, right? So that's a really good way to kind of cheese with certain characters and use their aerial moves. Like for example, if you're trying to like run away from somebody, right, without doing like this, and you wanted to keep some active frames because you think they're gonna punish you, you can just simply do that move and then jump out of there again, and now you're set back to where you can do something like that, right? So get used to doing that. And same thing as this one as well, right? If you wanted to do that in the air, anything like that, there's so many options. But the main reason why I use this is because of this. This is actually, if you guys didn't know, this is Velma's best button because it's really fast, and she can send like it has a lot of good forward knockback. It gives you clues on hit sometimes, right? And this is also a really nice button as well because you can combo off of it, and by doing something like this, right? So that's a really good button as well, and it applies that weaken whenever you pair it together with that combo, right? You can literally do that over and over and over again. So get used of doing that in the game, right? Get used of being able to use your specials and your neutral, your aerial options on the ground. That's going to help you out so much. Now at the same time, while you're doing that, you also have to be able to control if you want to fast fall. See, I didn't fast fall there. And if you want to fast fall, right, you have to have control over that as well. And the way that I do it, this is just the way that I do it. I'm not going to tell anyone else how they want to play a character or how their buttons are going to be combined, but I do my ones that I don't want to fast fall. I do that with the right stick. And again, that's that setting we talked about where all the way at the bottom here, it talks about the right stick. If you want it to be attacks or specials. Now, in my opinion, this is just something I found. I found that certain characters, their special version doesn't allow for you to like put a special in a certain direction. Like I'll just show it here. Let's see here. Let's do Superman, for example. So let's say I'm heading forward, right? So my input is going to be forward, but I did, right? See, now my stuff is doing specials, right? My right stick is doing specials, right? Now that's cool, but if I wanted to move this direction and I do it, like my right stick is going to the left right now, like I'm spamming it. Notice how he's not doing it. But if I stay in that direction, it won't go that way. So you can't use it. Now, even with Wonder Woman, for example, let's say if you wanted to head forward, right? Now I'm doing my right stick to the right now, but I'm still going to the left. So I've just found that with a lot of characters, you really can't have like the kind of control that you would want with the special. So I would just never use a special. For example, like I'm going with my right stick to the right, but it's still doing the attack to the left. So whenever you have it on special attack, it makes it to where wherever your actual direction is with your left stick or your D-pad, that's where the special is going, even if you throw your right stick to the right. And it doesn't do that for the attack. So that's the reason why I would only recommend this on attacks, just because if I go this way, let me use a character that does it better. Now this is like tech that I'm pretty sure pretty much everybody kind of knows now, but you can now like throw an attack to the right of you, even though you're like dashing to the left, right? So you can use this kind of like a, hey, stay away from me, like I'm running away, but I also don't want you to like hit me. This kind of like develops a, I don't want to say a 50-50, more just like, if you hit me, if you chase me, you're gonna get hit by this move, and if I see you get hit, then I'm gonna punish you again. So like you can do like that and then punish into that, right? So you can use this as a way to like, oh shoot, got him, and then like go crazy, right? So that's really important for you to have use your right stick as a controller player, because it allows for you to move backwards and still have an attack that is in your front side, right? And it works like that for not just forward neutrals, but even if you wanted to do like a neutral button, right? You wanted to do a neutral button, right? And you wanted to face it that way really quick. Now it doesn't work with hers, but there are certain, like for example, Tom and Jerry. If you wanted to move back, but you still wanted to do your reflect, your little tennis swing forward, you can jump in the air, press the move, and then move backwards while you're doing that. And that's really important because again, it allows for you to space things however you want them to be spaced. Same thing like here, you can be moving this way. Hold on. Like that. See what I'm saying? Like you can do it and then face a move the other way, right? So you can be going this way and then face it this way, and that's really, really important because it allows for you to kind of space buttons how you want it to be spaced, which will make it to where your character puts the hit frame where you want it to be at. Now this is really, really good whenever you're playing a character who already has like broken hitboxes. For example, this character, right? This character has extremely dumb hitboxes, right? He actually has dumb combos as well. He can actually do that all the way to 64% if you have the jump like height right. He can do that over and over again and literally just keep repeating. That's kind of cheesy. To 64. But yeah, whenever you're doing this move, right, and you're wanting to do it here now, right, so you're jumping this way and you're like, nah fam, you can do it like that, or you can do it like this, right? So you can jump this way and then like run away and then like, nah fam, don't chase me. Right, you can do like that and then like, nah fam, don't chase me. There's so much that you can do with this tech, and this is something that you have to get in the habit of doing. if you're going to be a character who's like really oppressive. Now, any character who has an ability where they can throw it and then like go crazy with it, like for example, whenever people learn that this move can do that, and not only that, look at the hitbox on that thing. Look at how long it's active for, right? See what I'm saying? And it kind of moves you in a direction that you actually hit, right? See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? It's not off of the where the shield is, it's actually off of where the initial hit is at, right? So if I bring it this way, it's gonna bring me away, right? So you can actually purposely do this to where you can like move away, right? Or you can move forward, right? See what I'm saying? Like that. And that's really important. So you can actually put something behind them, right? If you wanted to move away, or you can put it forward if you wanted to move it away from towards him as well, like that. And you can follow up with whatever. This is really good because this is a really good button, by the way. So yeah, really kind of get in the habit of doing that. But this is the reason why I say this is Velma's best button, is because she has range on hers. Number one, that's the first thing. It gives her a clue. She can just throw it behind her, so she can like, nah, get away from me, right? Stay away from me. 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 Right? That's really oppressive. That's free get out. And the cool thing is she can immediately do that, right? So you can't jump on her. You can't just, that's just free. You have to respect that. You have to hold that, right? So yeah, pretty good, pretty disgusting. This is the reason why I say Velma is like low-key one of the best like characters in this game. I think she's still slept on because people just haven't really been abusing like what's good on her yet. But just having that ability to do that, you're basically occupying forward and up. That's your, like if you were to take the square of this game, like how the training room is, you're pretty much occupying all of this space by just doing this and that, right? And you can just do it in the air. So that's a really oppressive tool, and that's really important in this game because if you master that, I don't know, man, like it's really hard to break through that kind of defense. So yeah, Velma, certified broken aerial neutral game in my opinion, and she can actually pair that up with like, you can do it like backwards and then immediately like do it like that as well. And since you don't always have to let this fly, you can literally just use this to slow your fall, right? So like for example, you could like, nah, I don't want to actually use it, but I'm gonna do it like this, right? You can like take your you could take, and this slows your speed and whatnot, so like you can do that. So you can literally just sit there and use it as a way to like slow your fall, right? Which is hella good in my opinion, right? See what I'm saying? You see how long it takes for her to land? You can just kind of stall in the air and then jump out of there, right? Now if you have triple jump, you can actually like do a triple dash jump. So yeah, there's so much that you can do in this game that requires for you to have that sort of spacing. Now let's talk about how you can use all of that combined in a little bit more of an defensive sort of way. So let's take Taz. I still don't know why people are still complaining about his tornado. In my opinion, this move should have never have been nerfed. But oh, I'm Taz. Hold on. Actually, I'll go ahead and just do it with Finn's backpack because I feel like people are having more problem with Finn's backpack than his I did for it. I'm tripping. People are having more problem with Finn's backpack than they are with Taz's tornado now. So you can actually just easily, right? And the reason why this is important is because, again, whenever you dodge, the next button that you have, right, gets that little active frames, right? So anytime you know he's going to do that, I hope I'm timing it wrong, right? See what I'm saying? Even if you're in the middle of it, right, you can just get out of it just like that, right? So that's a really easy counter to backpack, right? Now the cool thing is you don't have to just do, that's not just for the ground, that's actually for the air as well. So you can jump in the air and then just get out of that move. So let's say you have a Batman doing his up two, right? It's a really impressive move in the air. You have Bugs Bunny doing his up one, right? That's a really impressive move in the air, right? This option selects everything in the game. I have tested it. Every single ability in this game will miss. Whether you're in the air or you're on the ground, every single ability in this game will miss if you do that. Whether you're in the air or if you're on the ground, it'll make every single ability in this game miss. I don't care how many active frames it has. I don't care what's going on with it. They will whiff. And we'll do it with Taz Tornado just to kind of show you guys that this is actually the easiest way, in my opinion, to punish Taz. So like, let's say Taz is trying to do it, right? I wait till he gets here. Right? Because it puts you just enough away where you're like, okay, now I can punish that, right? That's how simple it was to counter Taz in this game, right? And they nerfed him just because noobs are not using, and this is a basic mechanic in this game, right? And it actually option selects every single button in this game, even if like you're going against a character's normal forward attack. For example, Taz has a really solid like 1-1-1, right? And right here, easily just get out of that, right? Now remember how I was telling you about how if you master this, right? So you do it and then directly down, right? And then you take that and you pair that with the bite, or you pair that with your normals, right? You can literally just get to the points where you can like literally just jump over somebody's move, get behind them, and then throw an attack and then punish, right? That's how easy it was to counter Taz. Now, we already talked about how like you can simply I'll show you more because I'm really tired of people complaining about Taz. That character needs a buff. Hold on. I do this on online timing, so it's gonna take me a little minute. I have to time it later. Yeah, I'm timing it on online timing. You can do stuff like that, right? So, see, once you dodge your initial hit, all of it whiffs. You can just sit in the tornado. You can actually punish him. Just like that, right? And it's as simple as that. Like, Taz's tornado was not good like that. Now, I wouldn't recommend labbing that in the lab. I would recommend labbing that in the custom game against like let's say a new Taz or whatever, or with a teammate or a friend that you have, and practice the timing in custom game because that's closer to online input delay and stuff like that. In my opinion, this game really needs to have an option that allows for all of your buttons to be having a simulated input delay on offline play. So anytime you're playing offline, there should be an option here that allows for you to like have like simulated online input delay, because that'll make it to where things feel more consistent in the lab as they would online. So yeah, really cool. But yes, this dodges everything in the game, whether you're in the air or you're doing. Now again, the lab needs a buff because I can't really show you this against like backpack, aerial backpack, and I can't really show you this with like Iron Giant, for example. Like Iron Giant, he has some pretty oppressive buttons, right? Let's see. I really can't like make him do an aerial jump like attack, right? Like there's no option for that. I would have to like do it in the air, and I'll put him on very hard or something like that, right? And then I'll just show you like he's not really doing any attacks. See what I'm saying? Like all of the attacks that make a character oppressive can all just be beaten by just doing a jump dodge in the proper direction, right? See what I'm saying? There's literally there's no counter to that. There's no problem with that. Whether it's a backpack, no matter what it is, if you are in the air, and let me do this with I don't know. Just pick a random person. Any character that you're really playing with, right? If you're in the air, like, I mean, it automatically option selects every move in the game, right? There's literally nothing that he can do. You see what I'm saying? Like, once you do it, he's just out of there. And you can do it preemptively. You can do it like, you can like hit and then wait for the attack, right? So you can like and then get up out of there, right? You can do it however you want. Be like, nah, I'm out of there, fam, right? Like that, right? So you can do the move and then like jump. You can chase, use it to chase, right? And just get out of there. Right, so there's so many different ways to use this move, right? There's so many different ways, but I found that this option selects every single ability in the game. And you can literally just sit there and do that over and over again. So like you can, see what I'm saying? Like you can literally sit in their face and on reaction, be like, nah, fam, I don't want to deal with that. See what I'm saying? Just automatically option select everything. I'm waiting for him to do his backpack. Oh, he just did it, and I didn't actually time it right. Just basically, there's no way for these bots to touch you, and even if you don't time it right, you still can get out of it, right? So just. Then I timed it wrong the moment he actually does it. So yeah, basically that's pretty much how it'll look, right? Oh. And there's literally like nothing that they can do. You can literally just do that over and over again. Well, I'm losing my frames. That's the reason why I'm getting hit, but. So yeah, you can just do that over and over and over and over and over again in the air, and there's really nothing that they can do against it. So for example, like whenever you're like on the edge and someone like sent you like knockback. So let me put myself let's do 110. We'll make him do his special up or whatever, right? He sent me flying. You could just, nah, fam, get right back, because they're probably going to chase and think that you're going to be like right here or right here, right? No one's going to think that you're going to be like way over here, right? You can just use that to kind of get to a spot. Or let's say like there's like a upward area like here on Batcave where you can kind of ledge onto that, and they sent you flying. You'd be like, nah, fam, I want to hold right here. And then you can just hold up there and then wait it out. And then you can like fast fall and then do it again, right? Hold on. Like that, right? So there are so many ways to use this tech where it can allow for you to be offensive, defensive. But again, like I said, you can like literally just jump over and attack and then punish, right? Literally. Hold on. Right? You can jump over and attack, wait till the animation is finished. Or punish like with a down one or whatever. Oh, I'm tripping. Like that, right? So there's so many ways for you to kind of like get this. Now I'm still working on mastering using this like mid-game. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say like I've got everything mastered, but I have been labbing this. The only problem is I wouldn't recommend labbing this or getting this done in the lab, because the lab right now is just really buggy. It's not really a good place to actually play. I would recommend doing this in a custom game with your friend, but if you have a friend that you can lab with, go into custom games and then work on these things. Like for example, I couldn't move for a second there. So yeah, work on those things with your teammate or whatever, and then work on just like off of reaction. Let's say he just threw out a button. If it has startup, and be like, oh shoot, right? And do that, right? And try to punish. And I would always try to make these things happen either off of prediction or reaction, because you can do a move where it's like off of reaction, but you're predicting that the move is coming, so you're just waiting for an initial move. Now you can get yourself baited like by doing that, but I would practice either doing something like that or just doing it completely off of like reading the move and having a little bit of space. And for example, if you know Finn's pressing you and you know he's about to do like a one or whatever into backpack, right? You can simply just back dodge, right? And then do like this or do something like that, right? And that'll allow for you to get out of the initial frame, and you can just punish that way. Now again, it's hard for me to show this because the Finn doesn't move in the lab, and this is the reason why I say like I wouldn't practice this with a Finn in the lab, because they don't move. But you can legit just backspace just enough. Remember, you can control how far back you go, right? You can do diagonally down, or you can just like input in the move really quickly, right? Like that, right? And then you can slow yourself. So there's so many different ways to actually do this, right? So master all of that, so that way whenever it's time for you to use it against like a character where you have to like whiff punish them or something, you can actually do it. I would work on mastering that really quickly. And then remember, on top of that, having these, right? Now, not every ability in the game has it, so let me actually show you another one that's actually really cheesy. And not only that, you can actually use it for combo. I'm pretty much about to make every fin even more broken. You can do this. Hold on. You can do this. And you can do that a bunch of different times. So like you can literally and get a free 50-something% combo from that, right? And then go crazy. And that's actually guaranteed to hit, right? Alright. Now, timing to make it like actually link properly is a little bit different, but you can also do it like that if you want. But yeah, it's just a simple, easy combo. And this is really good for edge guarding as well. Let's say you... And the reason why this is good is because, again, I'm just doing a neutral dodge, right? But you can actually do this where like you do like... Right? You get what I'm saying? Like, there's so much that you can do with that. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Same thing with Finn, right? His jump aerial is really good. Alright, even if you got sent with knockback, right? I'll show you this like this. Put him a little bit of help. And we'll make him do his neutral up. I mean his special up. Right? Oh, I have my jump. There we go. You can do like that, right? I don't know why it's not working right now. I think I'm just timing it before my hit stun's over. Yeah, that's what it is. Like that, right? So yeah, you can use it whether you have your second jump or your first jump, but just keep in mind if you already jumped, then you're going to be sent further in a direction if you do it off of your second jump. So that's really cool. So that's a good bit of tidbit of information for as like how you can use advanced movement in this game. So we'll do a little bit of a recap because I already feel like this video is pretty long. So again, you can well, let's just do it all with who do I want to do it with? Well, matter of fact, let me just go really quick. Let me go into my notes here because I've recorded every character who can do this tech, and every character who can't. Like, where it's true. Like, every character can ideally do this, but not every character has it to where it's true, right? So, basically, the characters that can do this tech is Jake, Ron, Finn, Arya, Harley, Steven, Velma, right? And that's whenever it's true. Because in all reality, every character in this game can do this. Now, Arya is a little bit different, right? So I'll show you with Arya, just so people can kind of see. So like, right? See how that naturally combos, right? And I input it in the dodge after, right? Now, again, you get to control just how much of a dodge that really is. So like, what I mean by that is like, you can like do it and then do a lengthier dash, right? Or you can do it and then it's not really a lengthy dash. So there's like many different ways for you to do it. You can do the quicker one, right? You can do the quicker one like that, right? You can do a slower one, or you can do a really slow one. But again, the slower you go, less of a chance you have for it to hit stun. Now see how that still hit, even though that was a really delayed one. See what I'm saying? So yeah, just keep that in mind. You can determine just how much of a frame you want to give yourself if you're trying to hit that move. So yeah, that's really cool. Abuse that. That'll be really powerful. And I recommend you guys adding that to your arsenal as soon as possible. There's just a little fly in here. I want to kill it, but it's annoying. Anyways, so yeah, she can also do it off of this move. So actually, you can make certain things link that normally wouldn't link. For example, you could do this, right? Now that's a hit stun combo, right? So that's really cool, right? And you can also do that with this as well. So like, shoot, I don't play Arya anymore. I used to play her, but now I'm just like not really into it. Shoot, let's see. You could do something like that, or you can just do like this. Yeah. I can't do it anymore. Like I just don't have the combos with me like I used to. Yeah, I just can't do it. Oh well, whatever. But basically, you can do like this into that, right? To combo, and then like follow up with this, right? Now it's at certain hit percentages, and you have to kind of like get the spacing right. But yeah, also you can do like this. You can dodge forward to hit like this. But again, the spacing is you have to be like right on top of them, and then you have to dodge right after. So it's a little bit of a different timing, and it requires very specific DI, but it'll look like that, right? So just know you can't combo off of this, right? Like that. So that's really cool. But you have to dash. Now you can just hit like that as well. But it's at different space points. So I would always just dash and dash. I can't speak today. I would always just dash and do it, so that way you're always safe, right? So yeah, keep that in mind. That's pretty cool. That allows for you to kind of do a little bit more with Arya. Now let's talk about like some more tech as far as like with this game. So I'll actually use Superman as a showcase here. So I don't know if you guys knew this or not. I'm about to have to kill this thing because it's actually like starting to really annoy me. Let's see. I don't want to punch my $300 screen. Anyways, you can do something like this, right? So everyone knows that that's a combo, right? You do this, and you punch, right? That should give you a little 13%. I mean, you're 16. But you can actually do this into a dodge cancel, into a jump, or jump dodge cancel. You can do it either or. Now, I can do neutral jumps like this, and this is the reason why I say Superman is God tier. This is also why you're seeing Batman in the meta, because Batman can do it as well, right? Any character that can, like, I mean, look at that. Number one, just look at that, right? So these are characters that automatically already have like true triple jump, right? And you stack them with triple jump. You see what I'm saying? Like that's without triple. Well, triple jump is there. Let me take this off because triple jump doesn't work like how people think it does. So. See what I'm saying? Like he can do that, right? That's God tier. So if he can just do that and then jump, right? He can actually like get from one side of the map like really quickly, right? See what I'm saying? Like he can just fly, right? He's a really good character because of the fact that he can do this, right? So this also makes his combos like this, right? So everyone does that, or you can do like 1-2 into the 1-2 like that, right? Or you can, instead of doing it like that, instead of doing it where you like did it with the 2, you can do 1-2 this, and then you can jump up, or you can do like a 1-1-1, and then instead of doing a jump right there, you can just do 1-1-1 dot dash up like that, and then punish like that. So there's like many different ways for you to use it, right? You get what I'm saying? So there's like so many different ways for you to use like Batman and Superman's ability to be able to like neutral dash, and that's really powerful, because if you can do that, that allows for so many different things that like other characters just can't do. It allows for escape retreats that just are not like normal, right? You can do like so much crazy stuff. So if you're wondering why Batman and Superman is like meta and they're really good characters, not only because they have like really good combo damage, Batman, he has a lot of CC. Superman has he can insta kill really early. You can actually use that exact same tech that I'm showing you right here. Oh my god, I hate that. You can use that exact same tech, right? The fact that you do that to actually kill from zero. Let's see if I can get it. Even though that's not a true combo, like if you just naturally did that, right? You wouldn't be able to do it. Even if you did it this way, right? It naturally wouldn't kill, right? You would have to, like, if you want it to be quick, right? It wouldn't naturally kill. See what I'm saying? That won't naturally kill. But if you time those those space jumps, it'll kill, right? So all that I'm doing is I'm doing jump dash, right? And then jump dash button, and it allows for your ability to go just a little bit higher, right? Just a little bit higher. And you can actually do this, like for example, instead of doing just this, right, which will be easy to hit, you can actually add a dodge cancel into that just to give it a little bit more air, and it'll allow for them to go be sent just a little bit higher. See, it still connects, but you see how much higher he went? This makes all of the difference when it comes to like actually killing someone, right? Like, so if you can do the same combo, but someone will be able to kill and someone won't be able to kill just off the fact that you're actually abusing. See how I'm hitting under him, right? If you hit under them, you're not going to send them as high, but if you hit like right where they want to be, see what I'm saying? You see how high I sent them, right? That's because I was like almost like on the exact same level with them from my dodge cancels, right? So that's really powerful. Now, again, the more you wait, the less of a chance you have for a true hit stun, like a true hit stun combo, right? But the reason why I always do this is because of the fact that, like, number one, a lot of characters like lose combos the moment that they get into heavier health, to where people are just like they can't get combos, and this is why like a lot of people are not able to kill like quickly, right? For example, Arya, she can do like this into that, right? And then the moment that you get them like above, like, I don't know, let's say 50, then all of a sudden they just like they can't hit, right? Hold on, let me do a little bit of a different combo here. Actually, let me do this one. I actually do it like this. I'm tripping now. Like, then people will be like, okay, like at that time you can hit, right? And then you get them way up here, and then all of a sudden those things just don't start hitting anymore, right? And it's like, ah, man, like I'm trying to do like the juicy combos, but now like you see you start whiffing, right? Or because of player DI, they start whiffing. This is the reason why I always, anytime I do a combo, if I know I'm supposed to be hitting, I always do a oh my god, now the input. See, I'm so used to timing things from online that I hate the lab now. So you can do something like that, and then like after you do the move, why it's literally just not letting me time that now. Basically, you would do the move, and then you would do a aerial dodge to where their DI is at. Now this requires like prediction or reaction time. You can actually see it while you're doing the combo, and this is why I think I'm actually going to make a separate video on this as well, talking about like how to make true hits on combos hit all the time on every percentage, because you just have to read DI. Like after the initial like move, right, you can tell where they're going to be sent after the initial hit, the first hit, right? That'll let you know where they're going to go. Like there's like a 30% player input, and then like 70% of it is like already like predetermined, and it depends on where you actually hit. For example, if you hit at a max space, it'll change where they go, and if you hit mid space, it'll change where they go, and if you hit like right above them, it'll change where they go, and if you hit right on top of them, like with a back frame, right, it'll also determine where they go. So all of that determines like that 70% of where a player is going to be, right? And if you start practicing combos on like really high levels, right, you're already going to know like, oh, if I hit it like here at the beginning, that player is going to be sent approximately here, right? And this is why I always run like acceleration, jump speed, because this allows for like DI combos to basically actually work no matter what someone's like. For example, that right there, you can actually like make that a thing now, to where that kills naturally. Instead of like this whiffing, you can actually make that hit because you know where they're going to be just by you reading DI. So that being said, like it's just not letting me hit it for no apparent reason. Like I said, I don't really practice art, so it could just be user error as well. Yeah, I just can't hit it. I don't really play Arya anymore. Who's another character I could do this on? I'll just show it on her. So for example, let's say you did a combo, right? And it normally would whiff, right? You can do that exact same thing, and then time your jump right after that to send yourself like upwards in the air, right? Just like that, right? Now, this actually like combos, right? on lower levels, but it won't combo now because number one, like you're not hitting, right? So you can actually use that to make that hit. Now the timing for it is very, very tight, right? But just note that it is possible. And whenever you're in the air, you have like, you can dodge up to the left, you can dodge up to the right, you can dodge just straight up, you can dodge that way, you can dodge that way, you can dodge directly down the other way, and then actually down again. So this is all really important. You want to get in the habit of always, especially the moment that you get above 50, right? You want to read DI, right? So example, I know he's going that way, right? The moment that you hit the first hit, you're gonna know where they're going, right? You need to read that off of the initial hit, right? And then like, okay, I gotta hit here, and then place that button there for that player. This is how you get a lot of ring outs, no matter what they do. And like I said, you'll know based off of the initial hit where they're approximately gonna be, but you want to react to that every single time, right? And that'll help you like send people where you want them to be at. You can also do something like that, right? You can hit them like that, right? And that really, really does help. So like you can make certain things link that normally wouldn't link, like that, right? So there's so many ways for you to use this. You just have to like read the player DI like that, right? So there's so many ways for you to use this, and this is like the true meta of this game, and this will help you become a better player, right? And then 50-50s and all of that stuff. So yeah, one of the best ways to practice this, I would always put the bot on dodge during hit stun, because it's like the only way to kind of really like practice like DI. Now again, these combos are not true because this is not a combo that would hit, but like for example with Superman, this would be a good way to practice that with him. You would have to find like every character's like combos that hit even whenever you do a dodge cancel. For example, this one will hit, right? But not at this high of a help, but if I just did this one, that normally wouldn't hit, right? But if you do that exact same thing, see, now it hits, right? You get what I'm saying? And that'll insta kill. So this is what I mean when I say like stuff like that. Even though like he has player DI, you have to react to that, right? See what I'm saying? And it's just one of those things where like the more you practice against it, you'll get better at it. Now, like I said, I'm still working on these things, but this will be the meta of this game. Reading player DI. I was too slow, but yeah, you'll get the picture. And that allows for you to kind of be very, very cheesy, but at the same time be very, very oppressive, and make yourself not so like threatless whenever they're high on health. Because a lot of people, well, what I find the difference between like a good player and a bad player is that the moment that you get a player on like higher health, their life immediately just becomes so much like better. It's like I believe the only reason that last stand is a good perk is because of the fact that a lot of people don't know how to kill once they get over that like 90 100 threshold, because that's where everybody starts to struggle to kill, right? Unless a character has like a really strong button, right, that can just send, or like Finn's backpack, right? A lot of people, they really just like don't really know like how to kill at high health, and it's because they don't abuse like the dodge cancels, right? And that's what they're there for. That's literally what they're there for. So yeah, there's so much tech that you can do that can just help you deal with all of the kind of pressure that is in the game. Now, even though like you're having to deal with DI here, right? There's ways to counter that. Like you can abuse 50-50s and stuff like that. There's ways for you to get around it, but just know anytime there's not a true combo, you're not going to be guaranteeing a hit. But players don't always dodge like every time, because that's actually how you read people. Like for example, if I knew that a Finn was going to dodge every single time, I would literally do this, wait for him to dodge, and then punish, right? So like hit it and then dodge in the direction where he's going. So if I hit this and then punish, right? That's how you beat people who like always dodge immediately and then you punish like that, right? So that's actually a really easy way to counter people. Right, you just sit there and you wait, right? So a lot of people, they just sit there and they wait and then they punish, because you can't do another dodge like right after another dodge. Like you can like see there's a little bit of delay, right? See what I'm saying? Like that's one of the things, you can't really just do that, right? So I just let people burn their dodge, honestly. So yeah, see what I'm saying? Like that takes a little while, right? So because that takes a little while, I just let them burn their first dodge and then punish, right? Now some moves you can actually space them a little bit delayed just to actually punish, like that. You see what I'm saying? Now if I were to do that at the exact same timing, it wouldn't hit either way, right? But you can just delay certain moves, right, to punish DI. So yeah, there's many different ways to kind of counter DI, because the moment that a player gets above that 100% threshold, they really start to get harder to hit, unless you have combos to like send you where the player is going. But to counter that, you have to read DI. Like that, for example, even if he were to dodge, like I already had placed a button to where he would get hit no matter what. So if he dodged into me, even if he did that, like I did it like that specifically to make sure that the player would not be able to escape that hit, which would have killed. So there are many different ways to kind of beat or option select these moves, and that's going to be for you to like figure out time and get all of that stuff juicy as much as you would like it to be. So let me see if there's anything more that I need to go over in this video. Yeah, I already went over that. Dodge direction, wall tech. Wall tech. I think I might have forgotten what the wall tech was. Oh no, I didn't forget. Basically, like one of the wall techs you can do with the do I have the right thing on? Yeah, I do. Let me put on triple jump, and let me put on a teammate bot. Again, another disclaimer, the lab is currently bugged, so not all the time will perks actually truly stack. Let's see if it'll stack. Nope, it will not truly stack. Let me take him off of that really quick. Oh. Okay, it's gonna work on single stack. Okay, so it's not stacking right now, so we'll just let that be what it is. So yeah, anyways, it won't stack right now, so unless it's on hit, which is goofy. But one thing that you can do,
You thought you had me.
you can do something like that, right? Where you purposely do your move and then you do that dodge mechanic, like to get you sent over, right? And you can use, like, you can purposely burn another dodge to send yourself like up, and then use the next one, your aerial jump, because your aerial jump always sends you a little bit higher up with a little bit more momentum, right? If you're heading in a direction, right? So your double jump is really solid, and that's pretty much like universal, right? Like almost every character in this game has a really good double jump, like if you're heading in a direction. See what I'm saying? Like they just send you like flying, right? See what I'm saying? Even if you if you do it off a dodge, right? They just send you flying in the direction. So you can actually use that. Let's say if you have a button that like gets you like already to go out there, right? You can do that and then do your second jump, right? To kind of, well, it's Steven Universe. You can do that second jump and then well, jump out there and then use your second jump to kind of boost you over to this side, right? See what I'm saying? Like you can do that and then like do that to like kind of get you up there. So you can like literally just jump, or like get down there, jump, and then jump again, and then use that second part of your jump to send you over, right? Like that. So yeah, there's many different ways to kind of use like that second jump to kind of help you out. And if you master that, if you get really good with that, and if you have a character that can kind of like send you out, if you would like, if that makes sense, you can actually use this to kind of hold on, I'm tripping, like that, right? You can use like his, you can use his to get you out of there quicker, and that'll be really cool because it forces people to not just like edge guard here, because that's what, like, if you're automatically wanting to make yourself like really harder to kill, if you're on the edge, stop going up like this, bro. Like that stuff is so newbie. Even like people like just doing this and they just double jump, right? They'll get all the way down here and then they'll just double jump as high as they can, right? That's not good, right? That's not the way that you play this this game, right? It's literally like so newbie, right? That's what everyone does right here. And then they just dodge like whenever they get somewhere closer to the top, right? That's literally what almost everybody does, right? So you got to start mixing it up, right? Just if you want, like even start abusing 50-50s or something, right? Something that'll like help you like get out of their area. Give them something somewhere else to kind of hit. Make them have to like go further out, right? If they have to go way out here just to kill you, see what I'm saying? Like that just changed everything that they were just planning on doing, right? You see what I'm saying? Like, see what I'm saying? Like, that's not anywhere near this area here where everyone camps, and you can actually just use this as a way to like just kind of like bait them. I always use my specials to get off the ground, so that way I have all my jumps, right? And if I realize they're going to try to come back and predict me coming back to the ledge or try to get right here, I'll use my special. I use my jump to get back to the wall just to keep that game going, because like you can wall fatigue forever, right? So you can even just do that to make them whiff until you get wall fatigue, and you can still get it, right? So I just wanted to like advise you guys, stop like just going straight up. Like it makes you so easy to kill. I don't know why. Every time I'm in the game, for some reason this always happens. Like it'll just like make it to where my stick just goes bleep bleep bleep. I don't know, bruh. Anyways, so yeah, that's another thing that you can do. So like if you have a character that has a move that just like allows for you to like get out off the bottom, use your specials to kind of get out, right? So like use your special to get out, right? And then use your dash jump or your momentum boost.
Wow, that one took me
to
by
get you.
surprise.
Wow. And then use your momentum boost to kind of get you out of there, right? Instead of just going immediately up top, right? Because a lot of people, they just do that, right? Or they'll like do a move, or they'll try to like use it to like kill somebody. Like I'm like, all right, bro, you're already in the bottom. If you're not like technically skilled and you don't know, don't just make that read and do that preemptively, because you're going to get yourself hit. Because why you, again, every time you do a move, there's a while before you can like dodge, right? Like, see what I'm saying? Like I can't just like immediately dodge out of that. If you're going to do stuff like that, where you're going to like try to like, if you're already in disadvantage and you're like trying to like punish people, make sure you know the recovery of your move. Because I literally see some people like, they'll like jump up twice and then they'll do a downward move, and I'm literally just sitting here, I'm like, bink, bink, kill. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be crazy if you don't actually like lab your character's like recovery, or you're gonna get hit, and hit very easily. So yeah, there's so much tech in this game that allows for you to kind of help deal with other players' BS rather easily. For example, let me put on a Shaggy, because I know a lot of people still struggle with this this one move, and I don't know why. This is actually, like, in my opinion, the easiest move in the game to dodge, because it's very self-explanatory. Like, for example, if you're close by, you dodge early. If you're kind of mid, you dodge whenever it's about to hit you. If you're further away, you don't dodge early. You never dodge preemptively. You gotta wait till the attack is actually going to hit you. Even if I'm way out here, right? You dodge whenever it's about to hit you, and that makes it a really like, oh shoot, react to the move. Literally, never like preemptively dodge. Always dodge whenever it's about to hit you, right? There's no like, see what I'm saying? Like if he's really close by, see what I'm saying? If you dodge early like that, you're always going. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I love the move for that reason, because of the fact that it's a move that is simply, whenever the move hits you, that's whenever you actually go ahead and actually dodge it. Now again, whenever you dodge a move, never just dodge. Always like try to like stick something there after, right? So after you do a move, I don't know why, maybe my controller is starting to lose battery. I don't know, bro. My controller is tripping right now. I can't even get an up aerial to land. Always try to like follow up with the move or something like that, or some sort of like dodge, right? Something that allows for you to kind of right, something that allows for you to kind of give them some pressure. Now every character's buttons will be different, and this is where like the mastery in this, you want to like find like the best button that you have to punish people that like their special move or whatever move sends them further away, and one that's quick enough to where if they were like right on you, you can punish, right? See what I'm saying? You gotta find move like that on every character. Now, not every character is the same. Sometimes it'll be their down one, right? You can like do this and then like that, right? You can use that. But all of those things are like based on like the character. So that's where like character like mastery comes into play and stuff like that. So I would always recommend you find your characters like with punishing tools. It could even be an area. Sometimes you might have to like dodge and then immediately do an aerial. That could be your best way to punish because you can move with your aerial really quickly, right? See what I'm saying? Like every character is different. Find those attacks that are quick, that can whiff punish, that have like a lot of active frames. If you're Bugs Bunny, just do the same move over and over again because you're an OP character. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much like the majority of everything. Let's see if I have anything else. Air 50/50s, ability abuse, attack stacking. That's more of doubles. Whiff pressure. We already went over whiff pressure. Oh yeah, I can actually show this with I'll show this with Arya because I remember this whenever I was playing her. One thing you can do with Arya, you kind of make yourself a little bit more of a deadly character. It's kind of the same thing with Finn, right? Where you do his like down one and you do this move, right? With Finn. Well, you can do the kind of the same thing with Arya, right? You can kind of do that, right? To kind of make this move come out a lot faster. So that's actually really hella good because of the fact that like you can actually use that to kind of not really like be stupid safe, but technically really stupid safe, right? Because it's like it's so quick that it's like you're doing an attack that immediately into an iframe, right? And then right after that, you're shooting another attack out. So this is like a really safe way to like, if you see someone coming down, right, and you know they're trying to land, just do that. And that's like a really easy option to like just like throw the attack out and then you throw another one out. One of them are either going to hit or you're going to block, right? Or you're going to like, they're going to whip, right? So yeah, because remember how I said, if you dodge an attack forward, you always get that. If you actually dodge an attack, that next attack becomes a little bit more invulnerable. Well, it gets a little bit of an invulnerability frame. So if you know they're coming, you can be like, hold on, I'm tripping. You can do like this and then dodge, right? Right after that. So there's so many things that you can do. You could even do like this. I literally cannot play right now. Like that. You could do something like that as well. If you just know that they're going to do it. So like you can use that to like micro space, right? And you see it's the same speed, right? Right? The same speed as that, right? It's just you're actually adding a little bit of movement with it. So that's really good and it's much faster than doing this. See how slow that is compared to... Now again, you have to actually like work on that frame, like that exact linkage to where it's like really quickly, because you actually get to control. Again, you get to control how fast and how slow that is, or if you're going to move or not move with that. So that's actually really good. But another part of this game that's really going to like help you like get better is to purposely throw moves that can be canceled, right? Right. So see what I'm saying? Like that's my neutral 2 into my up 1, right? This basically is a move that you can throw out like whenever you want, because number one, this move is your best range move in the game for Arya. Like that's your move that has the most range. The only problem with it is that it's hella slow, but again, just because a move is slow doesn't mean it's a bad move, right? A slow move is a really good move in my opinion because you get to input it in early, and all of this is active frames. For example, all of that is active frames. Whether you hit, like for example, see what I'm saying? Like all of that is active frames. Whenever you like actually finish that initial startup, all the way from like her, like the moment her hands like go to touch, all the way until she brings it around her back, right? See what I'm saying? All of that is active frames, and that's the reason why I like this move, because you can throw it in the air as a thing that hits you like forward and back, right? So like 1, 2, right? That's literally like 1, 2. That's a really good button because again, you can immediately cancel it into something else, right? And moves that again have really little recovery are the best moves to spam and to abuse, which is the reason why I like that move as well, because you can immediately cancel. The only problem is this is a really long move, right? Now what's cool about it is you can just do like that, right? So you can bait with this move, scare people, or you can like use it and then dash out, right? So you can throw it, dash out, you can throw it, do that kind of dash, you can throw it, do that kind of dash, right? There's so much you can do with this move. Same thing with this one, right? anytime a move has little recovery, that's the move that you want to spam, because it means you can now do stuff like this. I don't know why I picked Arya, because I really don't got it with her like that anymore. You can do stuff like that in case it whiffs, or let's say you wanted to do something like this and then get up out of there, right? So yeah, there's so much that you can do with the character's kit that revolves around like recovery frames and stuff like that, which is really, really important. Now, another thing that's really important to note, even though I think this is kind of like self-explanatory since I already went over the other one, is that you have control over like this, right? You have control over that move. You have control if it lands over here. You have control if it lands over here. You have control if it lands way over here. You have control over all of that, and you need to have all of this like properly like memorized and properly like executed. This shouldn't be something that you button mash. Like, I would aim for 100% completion while you're practicing. So just make it really, really, really slow. Make it something that you can do consistently, so that way whenever it's time to do it, like in a high pressure situation, it's not like a button mashing thing where you're like and you're spamming, right? You don't want to become a button masher. It doesn't really work very well. Yeah. So yeah, I would always work on doing things properly, because there's actually certain combos with Bugs Bunny that can only be hit if you don't button mash, and that's a reason I believe a lot of people like don't like mess with or don't know Bugs Bunny combos, because some of them can only hit if you actually specifically time them properly. You see what I'm saying? You see what it's doing to the Wonder Woman thing? How it keeps, I don't know why it's doing that. Like, what is the point behind that? I don't know. Anyways, yeah, so that's really, really important, and this will help you become a better player, a better character, if you take everything that was said in this video and you kind of abuse that. And yeah, did I put I'm not sure what that is. I have a list of another group of characters. I'm not sure why Wonder Woman is here. Because Wonder Woman doesn't have that true 50-50 thing that we talked about. Alright, she can only do it if it's like this, right? That's the only time she gets that true 50-50, so I'm not sure why Wonder Woman's in the list. But, Batman, Shaggy, Ryan, Tom, Super, Ari, Steven, Bugs. Oh, I know what that list is for. That is a list for who I think the best characters in the game are. Because I made a bunch of information here. Oh, that's another thing I forgot. That's the last thing here. So there's another thing that you can do defensively that's really, really, really good. Now, this works with bag as far as like Finn's backpack, but again, there's no way for me to like showcase this unless I had my friend in here, and it would take a lot of time to do that. But again, even if you know, like, let's say you don't have the jump, right? Because not all the time you're going to have the jump. And this is the reason why I say triple jump is like a must-have in my opinion. Because it really helps. Let's say if you already jumped twice, and you did a move in between, right? And you already jumped twice, and you need that third jump to be able to, like, jump dodge. You see how I can't do it, right? I can only just do a little dash, right? You don't want to ever have that situation happen. So I think double jump is a must-have in my situation. Just because of the tech that I use to kind of get out of that. And then again, you can like always like jump and then like go, you can like go wherever you want, right? You can do whatever you want after you do your jump. So there's like no like reason not to like go crazy with it, right? You see what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to always like go like this. You don't have to always like do it, because that'll be predictable, right? If somebody sees you do this every single time, they will, all right, well, I know he's gonna go, like, if I whiff here, he's gonna be over here, so I'm gonna punish that. You can't be like predictable. That's why I say like you have to be able to have like why is, bro, is this just delay or what? I'm not sure, man. Like, my goodness. Anyways, if you do it and you know you're always going in the same spot, then that's also really predictable. So you don't want to become a player that does that either. However, there is another way for you to kind of counter all of this. Let's say you already used both of your jumps, right? And you still, like, you know, you tried to whiff the first option, but their teammate came with another option. Another thing that you can do is you can diagonally dash down and then fast fall, right? Now, there's going to be a little gap right there, right? That little gap is going to be your problem for certain moves. If you just if you just dash downward, you're gonna get hit, right? If you just do a simple dash, downward, you're gonna get hit because it doesn't send you very far, right? Like the directional dodges do. So that's the reason why I say like you don't want to just like directionally dash down. If you're going to dash downward, you have to do the fast fall. If you fast fall, I promise you, you're gonna be able to negate every single attack, even backpack while it's coming up at you. Now a lot of people are like, bro, that's cap. Go lab it with your friends. Go lab it. You have just enough speed to be able to ignore. Now I will say, if you're going to do this, you have to really watch your stamina though, because if your stamina is like halfway, you won't be able to dash out of that attack. You won't have enough iframes, right? But if you have enough iframes and you do this, you'll be able to get out of backpack. You'll be able to get out of tornado. And the reason why I say it's good to mix this in with this one is because people will get used to you going this way, and then they'll start preemptively doing that, right? So then, let's say you do the same thing, and then you just dash right here, right? So you're in the air, and you do that, and now you can actually punish them midway of them like whiffing, and they think you're going to be somewhere, and you could do like that to try to punish them for trying to punish you. So that's why I say like it's really, really important to make sure you're you have options for all of these things. So as good as like this button is, you don't always want to do it. Sometimes you want to mix it in with just directional dash down with fast fall, or just straight up down with dash fall. But I would never use straight up down, because I feel like, in my opinion, from what I've seen with it, is a lot of moves like their frames are very up and down, even like attacks that you wouldn't normally think are. And a lot of characters have buttons that like they hit like on their back or like their feet. Even if, like, for example, like this attack here, see how that hits on my feet, right? So if you were to just dodge down, right, you would probably still get hit by the bottom part of that attack. But if you dodge this way, it's gonna move you to where this would whiff, and this would whiff, right? Because you're moving away from the hitbox. This is actually really, 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 really stupid important if you're going against a Bugs Bunny, because a Bugs Bunny, number one, his hitbox is stupid, first of all, but that hits from all the way to where like his feet are. So like, if I could draw, I wish I could, but I don't have the technology with me right now. But where his feet are whenever he does the attack, all the way to like everything in front of him, everything, like literally all of this area, all of that box that I'm jumping in, all 4 of those boxes, he hits all of that, right? All of that from where his feet are to where the back of him is, all of that is going to be hit, right? So whenever you're dodging against a Bugs Bunny and he does this move, the only way to make all of those whiff is to either like jump like this way, right, out of his way like that, or to dash directionally down like that, because that's the only way it's going to miss, right? And the only reason why it works is because the initial frame of the attack starts at his foot. It goes like up like this, and then it goes to the back part of him. So you have to like dodge it perfectly for that initial frame, and then fast fall enough to where the last part where it hits behind them doesn't hit you, right? So like, knowing certain characters' attacks allows for you to kind of space things properly to where you don't get hit, and that's really, really, really important, right? So if you ever are wanting to get better at like a certain character, again, I would do this with a friend. If this dude starts spamming me, bro, I swear to Bob. Anyways, if you start actually like labbing like hitboxes and stuff like that, it'll let you know exactly how you need to dodge. Now be careful, because again, if you're playing in twos, people can know where you want to dodge to escape a hitbox, and that can allow for you. But again, you have 2 options to work with here. You can just dodge like that. You can neutral dodge sometimes, right, to just completely escape it, or you can do that, or you can do that, right? So you have 3 options really, and all of them are really, really good, and you have to mix them all together so that way you become unpredictable, because you can't just spam one. You have to use all of them. And this is the reason why I say that gravity manipulation is one of the best perks in the game, and I think it is a must-have in my opinion. And the reason why I think it is a must-have is because of the tech that we're talking about right now, which is allowing you to fast fall quicker, because then this becomes so much faster, right? You can like literally like, you can like let's see, let me put myself, and we'll put him here and here. Oh, wrong one. Put him here. All right. The reason why I say this is really important because if you do this, right? Hold on. You can just immediately hit that, right? And then you can do another jump right after that, right? So yeah, that's really, really important. Jump down and then do another jump dash, right? There's so much tech that you can do with this, right? So yeah, get in the habit of doing that and get in the habit of making this something that like, right, that you can do. I don't know why. Maybe my game is just laggy. I have no idea. I just can't do any inputs today, right? Who knows? But what I was trying to do is it basically got sent in the air and you dash downward, right? And then you fast fall. And before you touch the ground again, let's say if their teammates waiting for that, you can like, while you're in the air, you can like do that as well. But I don't know. I feel like this game is just stupid laggy today, or I could just be having a bad execution day. We'll try one more time. I want to showcase it. Nope. Yep, I just can't do it. Something like that, right? Anyways, you have to input a jump in before that, but I don't know, it's not working. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. We're not gonna trip over it. Anyways, that's pretty much everything. Abuse those three options while you can. I'm not sure if the developers are gonna nerf that. Right? If they do, I can understand. But in my opinion, I feel like you kind of want to have that movement because it actually does cost you quite a bit to do. It's not like a simple resource management thing. Like it actually costs you some resources. So just keep that in mind. But if you're ever in a situation where you got hit with knockback, right, off of neutral on the ground, and you're wanting to like get out of an attack, you neutral dodge in the direction where you want to be at, right? Right? And anytime you dodge on the ground, you see how you get this little roll mechanic, right? See right there? You can actually use that to kind of like, you see what I'm saying? Yeah, that's hella cool, right? You can even do that with like that, right? That gives you like a little boost. Like not necessarily a boost, but it just gives you a different animation that allows for you to know that you're doing it properly, right? So you can like do that, right? And then like you can immediately like go crazy. So yeah, anytime you get hit off the ground and you got sent flying, first directionally dash downward, right? And then jump again, right? Because you never used the jump before, so you have two jumps already. But again, if you have triple jump, again, it's not going to proc. Even if I double stack it because it's bugged right now in the lab. You can jump and then double jump to get out of that next attack as well. So in all together, it would look something like this, right? And then you jump and then you do that again. So there's no way for me to showcase this right now because of the way that it's seems to be kind of just giving me random inputs at the moment. We'll try one more time. Let's see. Something like that, right? Like that. That's basically what it'll look like. And you can use that to kind of like abuse like your movement in the air, and this will really make people like start like spreading teams apart. And that's the reason why I really do it, is because a lot of people in like twos, they'll fight together, and if you can make somebody like have to go chase you, let's say a lot of people, they love like when you have them at the edge, right? And you're doing like this, and you're like your teammates are on the top, right? So you're covering like both of these options. You're like, oh yeah, man, we're about to get this knock, bro. Like he's about to quit the game, bro. Like, anyways, people love that. This is where they have their most fun. This is where people like feel like they're good at the game. You can counter all of that BS with just one like well-timed blink, right? So yeah, you can obviously dodge and then do that. There's so much that you can do. I would just always like make sure like whenever you're doing that to be very, very careful of when you dodge, because remember, it's always off of the initial jump, and be mindful of your stamina as well, because it's not a foolproof way. This is not like a, oh, you just always can do this. Technically, you can still escape a lot of moves even if you're low on stamina, right? Because you can do stuff like that, but the lower your stamina gets, remember, you get less and less and less iframes. So if you start getting hit, I'm like, oh man, this doesn't work. Watch your stamina. You can't just spam your stamina as much as you want, right? So yeah, just keep that in mind.
You'll regret that.
So yeah, that's pretty much everything, I believe. Let's check here. We already went over attacks, cancel, dodges, I believe. Yeah, I think we already went over that. Yeah, I think that was one of the things we went over at the very beginning. For example, you can immediately cancel this with an attack, right? Right. Anytime, even this, right? Or like, let's say you let this fly, or you did a forward dodge, you can immediately cancel that. Like, and that's part of like where your spacing comes, like being able to do a quick one or like a slower one, right? So like, see what I'm saying? Like, that's a slower one, and then the quick one, right? So you need to be able to like control just whenever you actually cancel an animation. This doesn't just work for the ground, but also the air, right? So like, right? Now again, the faster somebody's button is, right? You can do stuff like that, right? Now, anytime you do the same move twice, right, you get this little delay, right? So in order to counter that, like, always do something in a different direction, like that, because then you won't get that same sort of delay. So that's why I always like mix, right? Just double jump. Like that, right? I have no idea, bro. I swear to God, my inputs are just tripping today. Did I change my jump back, or I don't know. Maybe I'm just used to online timing. I don't really like to go in the lab too much now. Let's just make sure nothing was changed, because if it was, and that probably could be the reason. I know it's still unrecommended, but yeah, like that, right? So that's really important. Now, if you want a character who has like a really good cancel in the air, then it becomes really broken, because then you can kind of like that, right? So now you can like that, right? See what I'm saying? Even though that's the same speed as this, right? You don't get anything, but for this one, for example, you see how slow that is, but if you do the cancel, you see how much quicker that is? This is the reason why I say like Velma's like she's a tough character, bro. Like she can crack the noobs. Like she really can crack the noobs, right? And that's the same thing as, you know, Finn's down one in the air, aerial down one. The fact that he can, right? That's really good. That makes him really good. Being above and being advantage, you know. And every character is different. Every character has their own like buttons and stuff like that. So you have to find those buttons and then see like what you can cancel. And if you can do like any sort of aerial moves, right? Like, see what I'm saying? Like, and if that's faster than actually just doing the attack itself, right? Then get in the habit of doing that, right? Or even if it's from the ground, right? And that's the problem with him. His is not really like that. You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't really have that. So yeah, that's the reason why Batman isn't on that list, but Batman doesn't really need it because he has the Batarang, and you can always do Batarang into whatever. So yeah, Batman's still a good character. So yeah, I think that is everything now. Let's see. Dodge, neutral, to escape. Fastball, punish. Went over that. Yeah, I think we already went over that, but I'll just show it one more time just in case. I want to make sure that everything is in this video, so that way it's like once you watch it, you just go practice it, and then it's yours. You got it. Again, let's say you were doing this dodge jump, right, to try to like get out of some attack. Instead of always using it to escape, you can actually use it to like purposely make something whiff, or like fast, like purposely do that, and then like punish like upward, right? So you can like do that and then punish upward, right? So you can like and do like that, right? Because they're in the air too, right? So this is like a situation where like you're taking like advantage or disadvantage, and then you're using like the situation for your benefit. Like, I don't know about other people, but like I am like, this is like how I get pretty much like maybe 30% of my kills. Now, I don't know. I just really like the situation because I feel like this is, I don't know. It's the easiest way for me to score in my opinion. Because I don't know. I've always kind of played like this. I love a barre. A barre is like my favorite thing to do in a game, um, which just kind of makes me easier to like play against other people, and it makes them harder to fight me because it kind of makes them start to second guess themselves. I always would say like your brain's the actual the machine. I mean, your brain's the actual brains. You're the one controlling it, and the body is just a motor. If I can get your brain to second guess or to, dang, I wonder if I want to do that now, then like the whole motor starts to like second guess as well. The whole machine, your reaction time. You start to forsake all of that stuff just because now you're kind of in this vortex. You're kind of in this sauce of me like playing with your brain. I believe everything is mental. I love every fighting game because every fighting game is a mental game, in my opinion. A lot of players, they don't really do mental warfare. They just sit there and they play the game. Me, I'm always playing a mental game. I'm making you question. I'm making you think. I'm making you guess. Always. I'm making you kind of get sucked into this sauce, this trap, or a frame trap. And that allows for me to kind of play this game in a different way that really makes like 1v1ing me like, bro, even if you get the dub, you're like, man, bro, that was hard. I always get toast, right? And it's because I'm playing this sort of mental game where I'm like, sure, I'll purposely like, if I got hit, I'm like, okay, I'll purposely let this send me further out than I want to be, right? So let's say I'm way out here, and then I'm like, all right, cool, let me just hold this. And if they chase, bing, right? I'll do something like that on purpose, just for the sole fact that I want to do this, and then punish them for going for it, right? Just like that, like, and it's so simple. It's literally so simple, and then punish. Now remember, if you do the fast fall thing, you can do it like that, right? Or if you wanted to do the whole, and you can punish like that, right? And remember, you don't always have to go like you don't always have to go like that, right? You don't always have to go really far out. Sometimes you can just sit there and do this one and then do it like that, right? You have so many options. There's so many things for you to do that allows for it to be actually something that you can do. Like, you don't have to always just like send yourself way out to where you can't get the hit confirmed, right? Part of that is where the spacing actually comes, right? So that's always going to hit, right? If you know how to space it properly. Now let's say you know you've done this a few times, so they're like, okay, they're prepared for it. So then you could throw it this way, or you can just move it however you want, right? So there's many different ways for you to kind of do that, and it all starts from getting your dodges properly, like timed, and then using the tech that you need to use in order to like punish people for like actually trying to punish you. And that's a situation where a barre is into play, and I love doing that. I love being sent off the map because I can just simply hold my shield, wait for them, and then spike, right? And then save myself after that. There's so many things that you can do to kind of like play like against someone where like their aggressiveness plays into your hand, and that's my style. I love aggressive players. They're the easiest to fight for me because aggression is really easy for me to deal with IRL and also in video games. So yeah, that's pretty much everything. I know I said that probably like 10 times already, but so yeah, that's everything on this video. I hope you guys watch this. Hopefully you share it if you have friends that like want to, you know, learn some more. I know it's not a that's what I'm looking for here. I know it's not like a video, like a formatted video. It's just literally me talking on stream and teaching. But I feel like that's like one of the best ways to learn. Just to see something and then like, okay, well, let me go ahead and do this myself. I don't really like teaching people exactly how to do stuff. I like for people to learn on their own, because until you internalize it yourself, you will never be able to externalize it. Right? It has to be something that you do. Like, I believe everyone's a hands-on trainer. I believe everyone, like, whether you're auditory, visual, or kinesthetic, no matter what you are, you're gonna have to do it yourself and get the experience to get it right. So I would much rather just show you visually and auditorily like how you do something, and then like, okay, now you go practice it. You put in the time, because until you perfect that muscle memory, until you perfect these things and then build it into like how you want to play the game, you're never going to be able to externalize this in the game. So hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. It's J Chaos or z00kou. I'm out. Deuces. If we gon' load out.